Rule number 9. A conjugated verb will have the same number and person as its subject. This is one of the most basic of all these rules, and definitely something learned at the very beginning of your education in Latin, as well as any other language related to Latin. We can call this subject-verb agreement, so let's look at this in greater detail. Latin has 3 different persons. The first person, which is used for I and we, the second person for you and a plural you, and the third person for a he, she, it, and they. I like to think of these different persons as those moving away from the self. So in the first person, to the person I'm talking to, the you, and then finally to someone else unrelated to the first or second person. And to make these terms even more approachable, we use the first person, second person, and third person to describe narrative point of view. A first-person narrative is one told from the point of view of a character, while a third person has a narrator not involved in the story. Oh, and it's also important to say that Latin also has 2 different numbers, the singular and plural. That's the difference between the I and the we. So the ending of verbs changes as we change person and number. Let's look at the basic verb phrase I sit, ego sedeo. The verb is first person singular because the ego subject is the first person singular pronoun. But when we change this to you singular sit, the ending of the verb changes to reflect the now second person singular subject, tu sedes. And if the soldier is sitting, miles sedet. Let's go back to the first person, but make it plural. We sit is nos sedemos. Our ending changes yet again. Into the second person plural, vos sedetis, you plural sit, and the soldiers are sitting is milites sedent. Now third person plural. In fact, a verb will do this regardless of its tense and voice. So in the imperfect, there is a difference between the first person and third person, ego sedebam versus miles sedebat. And with the perfect passive, miles interfectus est to the plural, milites interfecti sunt. The participle here agrees with the subject in gender and number, and that's why we get the change from interfectus to interfecti. This is, in essence, the basis of conjugation. There are some peculiarities, so let's get to those. First, when a relative pronoun is a subject, it will have the same number and person as its antecedent. So in this sentence, ego sum qui feci, I am the one who did it, feci is in the first person singular because qui refers back to the first person ego. Tu, qui sapiens es, omnia doces, you who are wise, teach all things. The S is second person because its subject, the qui, refers to the second person tu. Next, double subjects often take a plural verb. Pater et mater mortuis sunt. His father and mother are dead. Sunt is plural because both pater and mater are the subject, more than one. But sometimes a double subject will have a singular verb if the subject can be considered as a whole unit, like in the phrase, senatus populusque Romanus intelliget. The Senate and Roman people understands, something like that. Intelliget is singular because the senatus populusque Romanus, SPQR, is really just Rome. And if we have different persons in the subject, Latin typically prefers first person to the second person and second person to the third person. So you and I are students would be tu et ego summus discipuli, and summus is first person, and plural because of the double subject, by the way. There are a few more peculiarities of this rule, but I think that's good for now. Thus, rule number 9, a conjugated verb will have the same number and person as its subject.